And I know that kind of around that sort of time as well, back in 2019, you were offered a place on the film music residency as part of the Brighter Sounds of Both Sides, which is
Hmm.
amazing. And you were mentored, weren't you, by Laura Rossi and
Yes,
Christella Littress?
yes.
I mean, how was that for you,
Um,
the whole period?
I'll start by saying that in 14 years of musical education in Romania, no one bothered to mention female composers.
Mm,
um, not to mention female film composers. So actually, Laura was the first female film composer. You know, that's a professional in the industry that I ever met. And although we had a short time together, we had like 5 weeks. Sorry, 5 days during a week,
yeah,
uh, in which we worked closely together every day. All of us. There were, I can't remember how many composers were like me, you know,
mm,
on this residency. But she mentored us, as well as Cristela Letras.
hmm,
She was a singer. She's a singer-songwriter and sound designer, which again is um, a thing that not many women do, you know. So it's amazing to have this role model in front of you and be able to ask the questions that no one has been able to answer so far, because you know, it's a bit of a difference. When you're a male composer, you have a certain kind of experience, but when you're a female composer, those experiences differ a bit sometimes, not all the time. To be honest, it's getting a lot better in the film music industry for us.
for
So I'm
sure.
quite, yeah.
Yeah, because we'll talk about that actually as well. Because I know that following that, your work was showcased at the Independent Directions Film Festival, wasn't it? Where you got to take part in an all-female discussion panel
Mm-hmm.
focused on
Yeah.
overcoming the difficulties of being a female film composer. I mean, what was that like for you to be able to talk about something so difficult like that?
Uh, that's what the residency
Yeah,
was, you know, focused on. Um, so we got during that time we got to work together. I was part of a team of four composers, female
yeah,
composers, emerging composers, like people like me, basically. So we got to work together and create these soundtracks for short films. For one, each of us had a short film to score, each team. Sorry.
mm,
So at the end of it, we discussed these things and we got to ask the questions and answer the questions that were popping up in this discussion panel, which I was part of, and that was actually one of the few experiences where I, you know, took the microphone and talked. Not very different to this experience.
yeah,
um, but yeah, it was really nice to share the stage, you know,
mm,
with some people, some very important people in the industry, and to be able to discuss these things with them.
yeah. I mean, I know that obviously the film industry is extremely difficult to get into anyway, but obviously, as you mentioned, for females, it's even harder. I mean, how difficult has it been for you to get into the industry, and just for females in general? How difficult do you think that is?
You know, I'm not the industry
Yeah,
is a very abstract concept. Like, I'm not sure, am I in the industry? Am I not? Like, I'm clearly working, I'm
yeah,
making a living out of it, but am I there? I'm not sure if I'm there yet. um, but I guess I've been lucky because I moved here and I had a lot of opportunities, and I met a lot of people who weren't phased by my being a woman. Um, I think being a woman slowed me down back in Romania a bit, not because people were intentionally trying to slow me down, but because our country still hasn't, you know, gotten over some psychological boundaries yet. Um, but here, I try to make my own way. I try uh, to work with people, to be in touch with people, to showcase my work online. That has been very important to me. A lot of my work comes through Instagram, actually,
mm,
which is something that no, or maybe very few professionals in the film music industry can say. They have their agents, their publishers, their contacts. I didn't have any contacts when I came into this country. I started from scratch. um, and I built a community online that's partly made of musicians and partly made of filmmakers, which is great because when I share my work online, there's a part of my community that asks me, the technical questions, and then the other part, which are the filmmakers, maybe enjoy it, maybe they don't, but sometimes I get a message. Well, I'm working on this. Would you like to do the music for this, or something like that, which is great.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Would
So
you? Yeah.
so I'm not sure if I'm there yet in the film music industry,
Yeah.
but I'm on my way.
Oh, that you definitely are. I mean, would you ever get yourself an agent eventually or a publicist to help you take your journey even further?
Yeah, actually, I would. I'm waiting for the right. I'm waiting for the stars to align.
Yeah, definitely. Have you looked into it at the moment, or like you said, are you just waiting for the right moment to actually find one?
uh, I've been looking into it.
Yeah.
Not too much though. Just for me to have all the information in place. And I'll be actually working on an EP, a vocal EP that has been funded with the help of Help Musicians UK,
Mm.
through an award that I got from them, the Do It Differently Fund. And this EP, I'm planning to make it my own. Very personal. I'm planning to reintroduce my vocals into my compositional work because that's something that I strayed away from. Because again, in my home country, if you're a composer, you should compose. If you're a composer and you start singing, then you're not a serious composer. That's kind of
Mm.
how things work. So I've been distancing myself from this, but now I'm trying to define composition on my own terms. And because I'm planning to make this EP so personal, uh, I will be probably using it as a tool to pitch to a publisher, but that's um, maybe at the end of the year. I'm not sure.